right, so let's put together the Christmas card like I promised you yesterday. I do apologize. I had a sick child, so that happens. But I wanted to point out that I have my mouse posy on, so you'll be able to see what I am doing on the screen. If you see this icon, I'm holding down the Option key. If you're on a PC, it would be the Alt key. If you see this icon, I'm holding down the Command key, and if you're on a PC, it would be your Control key. If you see this, I am holding down Shift. So that should give you an idea of what keys I am holding down when I'm using the different quick keys and or using different options and different tools. All right, so I'm going to basically be putting together these 4 photos. If you have ever tried to take a group photo, you kind of know that sometimes there's always that one person. I would challenge you to try to take a group photo of 6 children, 5 of which are either toddlers or babies. So let's just say that it's amazing that there's only 4 photos this year. So for this one, you'll notice that there are only 5 children in there. That's because we had to finally bribe him to come in with the juice box. And then I only got one good photo of him smiling and doing something funny. The rest of the time, he was not really looking at the screen, at the camera, or falling over. He's only 9 months old. All right, so we're going to start off with this photo. We're going to Photoshop him in. We are going to add him in sitting on the chair like this. And we're going to take out the juice box and put in a gingerbread cookie, which is a little bit more festive. So let's get started by first adding him in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Quick Mask, which is located down here. And I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to kind of mask him in with the brush tool. Seems as though Amazon Prime is here. Hopefully they'll just leave what they are going to leave, not ring the doorbell and wake my children who are finally napping up. So when you're using Quick Mask, what you're doing is you are just using the brush to select what it is that you want to select. And then we'll just mask him out and copy and paste him in. And there we go. And you'll notice I'm using my brackets to make the brush larger or smaller, and the space bar to move myself around the screen. And what I like to do is just sometimes just go right around the edge and then fill it in with the wand. And I'm purposely going a little outside because I'll fix it when I bring him over. Other years, we've had babies crawling off on us when they were babies. Without fail, every picture, my daughter has had her thumb in her mouth, although this time she didn't. I think that might be a record for the longest amount of pictures I have taken where she has not had her thumb in her mouth. She gets a little nervous sometimes if she doesn't really know what's going on, and then she sticks the thumb in her mouth. All right, so, which you can see right there. All right, so I'm going to use the magic wand tool, and I'm going to select that inside, and then I'm going to go and select, modify, and expand it, probably by 7. And then I'm going to do an edit fill. Foreground color is fine because it's black. And deselect, and you can see I missed a little bit, but I can go in and fill that in with the brush. It's because I have my brush set to feather or hardness of 38%. I find that when you use a feathered edge, it gives it a little bit more of a realistic Photoshop where it doesn't look so Photoshopped. One of my little tricks that I've got. And you'll also notice that my tree is up on a table because of kids and toddlers. Another one of my little tricks. All right, so I've taken the quick mask off, but you'll notice it's selected the outside, so I'm going to select the inverse. And we'll just copy him, bring him over and paste him in. And kind of just drop him in right there. And we can go in and fix that, delete some of that yellow that we see. And we'll do the same thing with him. I'm actually going to grab, let's see, luckily, I'm going to close this one out. I'm going to grab most of the arm and the chair here as well. So again, enter quick mask with the Q. Go over to my brush. And this one I can just kind of do this. So I'm grabbing more of it. The older kids were in charge of holding him while he was on the chair. Like this. Not quite sure what that is, but we'll figure it out after. And fill that in. Expand. Maybe go to 11 this time, maybe even more. And edit fill. And exit quick mask. And again, select the inverse. Copy it. Plop him in, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. And we'll close that out. And then we'll grab our gingerbread man. So you'll notice that I'm just grabbing all of the different things that I need first, and I'm going to worry about scaling them all in after. So again, enter quick mask mode, go to my brush tool. Now this is a nice photograph taken with a good camera. Honestly, I do have a good camera, but bringing my good camera out around 6 children always seems like more trouble than it is worth. So I just used my iPhone to take the photos this year. Honestly, I couldn't even remember if the battery in my camera was charged. I didn't even go downstairs and check. I just pulled my phone out of my back pocket and just started snapping as quickly as possible before everyone moved, went back to watching the movie that they were watching or whatever else it was that they were doing, because they never want to stop what they are doing to take the picture. My friend's son, he was busy playing with the kitchen, my daughter and son's kitchen set, and he was like, "No, I'm playing." And we thought to ourselves, "Yeah, don't blame me, kiddo." Again, we'll see how this works. If I can't make it work, then we'll just leave the juice box in. But I figured it would be a cute addition. All right. And go around. We'll probably have to take out, see if I can match it up with his hands. And fill it in. And deselect that, exit Quick Mask, select the inverse, copy, close that out, and paste it in, and just hit OK. It's a different RGB. I knew that would come up. So now we've got some ginormous photos, and we're going to start to scale some things down. I'm going to scale down first my son sitting in the chair, because that'll make it a little bit easier for us to see everything else that is going on. So I'm going to go to that layer and scale it down. And I'm going to just turn off the gingerbread man for a second and see if this is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. I might need to move his hand over. Match it up with her leg right there. And we'll see how this does. So I'm going to turn the opacity of this to 60%. And I kind of got them a little bit spot on there. So I'm going to go to my masking tool, and I'll start to just brush in to remove things. So I want to leave her original jammies on. And we'll start to do this. And I'm probably going to have to add in some wall right here. Maybe leave his original hand right there and move that. We'll remove this. Bring the chair in. I'm going to bring this one back up to maybe 90% so I can see what I got to leave in and what I got to move. That. Keep the chair in. And let's see if I can't move his hand. So let's make a copy of this by just dragging it over the plus sign. I'm going to turn this one off. And I'm going to go to quick mask mode here. I'm just going to grab his hand like this. And exit quick mask mode, select the inverse. Actually, I don't even need to select the inverse. Let's just delete everything on the other side of it. Move that arm up a little to right here. Turn this one back on. Again, over in the layer, I'm going to just taking everything out in the layer. Do that. Again, I can see where I'm going to have to kind of take some stuff out as close as I can. Really want to zoom in there and bring my brush down just a little bit, but I'm leaving it nice and feathered. See how the feather kind of makes it look like it's not really getting photoshopped? It's my little trick. Just start to erase a little bit here. Take out the chair right here. You might not even need to. And now it kind of looks like he's just kind of holding the chair instead, which is fine. Take out here. That part. And we'll just back a little. And I just need to add in some jammies. Whoops. There we go. I'm going to turn off this layer for a second so I can see. All right, because I know I got that layer set. So I'm going to name this layer arm. Going to name this layer Logan. And we'll name this layer Jax. And we'll name this layer Gingerbread. And we can leave the background as a background for right now, just so I know what's going on. So we need to go back to the Jax layer and see if we can't take out this hand right here and add in some jammies. So that might require our clone stamp tool. And I'm going to actually clone from over here, which may seem a little bit weird, but luckily it's a pattern, so I can just follow that pattern, add it in over here, and then I'm going to turn on the hand layer to see how much I need to do, and I'm almost there. And make sure you're set on current layer, not all layers, because then I would end up going right over the hand. All right, so I got that in. Looks about as realistic as it's gonna look, which, you know, sometimes you just got to zoom out and say, nobody's really gonna notice that. Let's turn the opacity up on this layer to 100%. And then I just need to remove right in here, add in, oh, and remove over here. What's going on with the rest of the arm? Go a little bit bigger. Add her jammies back in the way they were supposed to be. There we go. Almost missed that. And he was falling into her, so we're gonna get right up here. Oh, no wonder why I'm on 40%. Make that 100. And get that back there. Really zoom in here. Go. All right, so she looks all set. He's just got a little bit more got to fix on him. Something, let me figure out these socks here. So which sock? All right, so this was his sock, but there was still something weird going on with that sock. I should probably just take this sock from the original, add it in. So the easiest way to do that will be to just clone just this sock here, honestly, instead of making a copy of the original background. Select the inverse, I'm going to copy it, and paste it, and I'm just going to name this sock, and we'll move it over. A little bit up. Scale it with the other sock. Might need to scale it up just a smidge. And normally I wouldn't do this, but again, go in and just kind of race them around. Go. And then I can go back to the Jack's layer and get rid of that pink right in there. And zoom out. So that looks right. And I just need to add some blue in right here. So the easiest way to do that will probably be to do it on the background layer. So I'm going to just use the clone stamp tool and just kind of follow along here and kind of clone in. Just following along with the chair. And we'll turn the other layers on. Back in. And just add that in. And then I believe this might have been on the arm layer, so I can just take that off. Just get a little closer. Go. And back to the background layer. Add that in. And right here too. Figure out. Oops. There we go. And zoom out. All right, so we've got some hands in there. Let me just double check right here. That might be on the Jack's layer still. It's the little things that you notice when you go back and forth in there. There we go. There's the rest of the arm of the chair. And that blends in nicely. All right, so let's work on him. Again, I'm going to add a mask on, and I'll do all of my editing on that mask. And use the brush again, and I'm going to bring up the hardness just a little bit on this and bring down the size. Whoops, bring down the size of the brush. And he was originally standing in front of the tree over here, so that makes it a lot easier. Just want to get rid of that kind of that like halo glow that's going on. There we go. And we've got a little bit more over here. Oops, a little too close. There we go. Right in here. And perfect. All right, so next we're going to see if we can't get that gingerbread into his hand to make it a little bit more festive. So let's turn that gingerbread layer on and let's actually save this. Let's save this as Christmas card 2019. And I'm going to scale this gingerbread guy down. Get him just the size I kind of need right here, maybe, to hopefully fill in that space. It's like a ginormous gingerbread man, right? Turn him a little. And we can take the juice box out behind. So let's bring his opacity down, whoops, to 60. So I can have the hands coming over it. And again, I'm going to do all of my edits in the layer mask. So I want to bring his hands over. Whoops. Might be a little bit more difficult than I think. I think that this is gonna be way more difficult than I anticipated. Gotta think about how he would be holding the gingerbread man. It might make more sense to leave him in like this. All right. Just have those two fingers holding him. Like so. And we'll just add in some of the jammies in here where we can still see the box, and the jammies in here, whoops, where we can still see the box. And let's bring this finger, right? This finger in. And actually, I gotta bring the whole hand in. So, right here. Get these two fingers in. And get right up to him over here. Or maybe we'll just take this out and we'll pretend he already ate that part, right? He ate a hand off of him. It's a little odd, but we'll make it work. So let's get back to this. And we'll just add in some jammies starting down here. All right. Just follow along. Add those jammies in. And right down here, follow along and add those jammies in. And zoom out. A little bit more festive. Holding a gingerbread man. And again, let's save it. And there we go. We got 6 kids in a photo, which is always quite a feat. Just trying to see what some of the comments were. And all right, thanks everybody who was able to make it today. And hopefully you will find this helpful if you have to do a similar type photo at some point, which if you have kids, you're probably saying to yourself, yep, I do. All right, have a great day, everyone.